I had a complete panic attack. I ended up having to check myself into the emergency room 1 week after quitting my job. But still, quitting my job was the best thing I ever did. I went from making $80,000 a year at my job to quitting cold turkey, making $0, spending the next few months in a complete state of anxiety, to now, this year, I'll make over probably $1 million, which is crazy. That's something that I didn't think was possible back when I had a corporate job. And the truth is, there's a lot of people out there that are making a lot more money than me in entrepreneurship. And the reason I bring this up is because quitting your job is probably gonna be the best thing that you'll ever do. Because I find now that I'm working a lot less hours, I have a lot more fun, and I make a lot more money. But there's 3 things I wish I would have known before I quit my job. And maybe if I would have known these things, I wouldn't have had to check myself into the emergency room. I wouldn't have spent the first 3 months after quitting my job in a complete state of anxiety. Because when I first quit my job, every single day for the first 3 months after quitting, I woke up every morning with my heart racing. It felt like as if a bear had jumped into my room to wake me up. That's how much adrenaline I was having. And this is common. A lot of people that quit their job, especially to go be entrepreneurs or go pursue their dream, they end up having a lot of anxiety and panic attacks, but you don't need to experience that. I'm gonna share with you the things that I've learned since then that have helped me be a much more successful and happy entrepreneur. And the first thing is, have a routine. Your entire life, more or less, people have been telling you when to wake up. You know, you have to wake up to go to school. You have to wake up to go to your job. They've been telling you when you can take a break. Oh, here's when recess is. Here's the lunch break. Same thing even in the corporate world. A lot of times they tell you when it's acceptable to take a lunch break. And within reason, they even tell you what time to go to bed, because if you go to bed too late every single day, you're gonna feel like crap all day long. So for most of your life, you've had a built-in routine. Someone else was telling you more or less how to live your life. But once you quit your job, you're gonna have a lot of freedom, and that's amazing. But it's also overwhelming because now you have all these different options. You can wake up whenever you want, you can go to bed whenever you want. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs struggle because they're used to having this routine, waking up at the same time every day. And now that they have this freedom, they take advantage of it, but they kind of go off into the deep end. So I recommend having a routine, but here's the key. Your routine is not a prison. When I first quit my job, I thought I had to spend 10 minutes meditating. I had to do 20 minutes of exercise. I had to do all these different things every single day. Otherwise, I was a complete failure for some reason. And the truth is, you should have a routine. You should try to set an alarm, wake up at the same time. You should go out. You should probably at least try meditating in the morning. Try exercising. Look at different people's morning routine and try them out. See if it works for you. But know that from day one of you quitting your job, you're not gonna have the optimal morning routine. Your goal for the first few months is just to try out different things. See what you like. Another thing that you should schedule in is social time, because a lot of people, when they first quit their corporate job and they feel that pressure that, oh my God, I went from making $80,000 a year, now I'm making nothing. They feel that pressure and they're like, I need to spend every single minute of every single day working, and they neglect their time with friends or family or just other humans. And here's the truth, and I fought against this for a long time. We are social creatures. We evolved to spend time with other humans. In fact, the most cruel punishment we give to people is isolation, social isolation, and it leads to humans going crazy. So don't do this to yourself. Don't think that you need to torture yourself and spend all your time by yourself working on your project. A great way to socialize and exercise at the same time is to go play sports. Especially if you're in a new city where you don't know a lot of people, go to the basketball courts, go play basketball, or pick up and learn a new sport like MMA, jiu-jitsu, tennis, any of these different things. And I've done all these, and I found for me personally, it's extremely important to have some other skill, some other hobby outside of entrepreneurship that I'm working on. I ended up picking up jiu-jitsu a few years ago. And the amazing thing about playing a sport, especially a combat sport like jiu-jitsu, is you're literally fighting for your life. So all you're thinking about when you're doing jiu-jitsu, MMA, or even playing a game of tennis, all you're thinking about is that moment right there, that game. You're making sure that you're not getting choked and you're trying to choke out the other person. So this becomes a type of meditation, and it allows you to win at something even when you might be losing at the game of entrepreneurship. Because let me tell you, after you quit your job, there's gonna be days where you feel like total crap. Nothing is going the way that you think it should. And you're gonna kind of wonder, man, did I make a mistake? Did I make a mistake in quitting my job? And even though I never got too deep down this rabbit hole, if I would go out and I'd play some basketball or do some jujitsu or play some tennis. In that moment, I wasn't thinking about that. And it allowed me to win, even if it was just one good hit in tennis. That allowed me to have a win for the day and not feel like I was a complete loser. And make sure that you get outside, that you schedule in time to go for a walk, to stand up, to get out of your chair, to even just take a break. And one of my personal favorite things to do is in the middle of the day, just to go to the beach and lay down on the beach. And if you don't have a beach close by you, just go to a park or some area where you can lay down and enjoy your freedom and realize that in this moment, most people are stuck in their corporate jobs, but you have the freedom to lay down in this beautiful park. And the truth is, after quitting my corporate job, I went through this constant cycle of working extremely hard, burning out, feeling like crap about myself, eventually working really hard again, burning out, feeling like crap about myself, and it just would cycle through this constantly. And here is the key to avoiding that cycle. And this is a super common cycle with entrepreneurs. The key is, and this is going to sound so cliche, is to learn to love yourself. And let me explain what that means, because I think a lot of people say that phrase, learn to love yourself. What the hell does that even mean? Let me explain it to you. How would you treat a 5-year-old child that you love unconditionally if they came to you and they said, I'm so sick of working, I'm so sick of doing my homework, whatever they're doing, I really need to take a break? Would you tell them, no, you need to keep doing your homework. I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if you feel like crap. Keep doing that homework. Or would you tell them, no, it's okay to take a break? Now, the truth is, it depends. Sometimes they have homework that needs to get done by tomorrow. But most of the time, you probably would look at that child and say, you know what? Go freaking play with your friends. Go take a break. And you should treat yourself the same way. And it's hard to do. I tend to crack the whip and tell myself, I'm not doing enough. I need to work harder and harder and harder. And that's what led to me constantly getting burned out, because I got sick of that part of my personality that was always driving me to work harder and harder. And it wasn't until I started asking myself this one question that I was able to break free from this burnout cycle. And that question is a 2-part question. The first part of the question, I would ask myself, anytime I had a task and I was feeling resistance in doing this task, I would ask myself, do I need to do this task? Do I need to do this thing right now? And usually the answer is no. Every once in a while, the answer is yes. It's like April 14th, taxes are due tomorrow. I got to get my taxes done. Too bad. I need to do this thing. But usually you don't really need to do something. Usually when you have a task that's on your to-do list, but you really don't want to do it, you don't really need to do it. You feel like you should do it. You feel like you're supposed to do it. So that's the first question I'll ask myself. Do I need to do this thing? And if the answer is no, the second question I'll ask myself is, do I want to do this thing? And usually if I'm asking myself that question, the answer is also no. So if I don't need to do this thing, I don't want to do this thing, why is this on my to-do list? Usually it's because I feel like I should. I feel like I'm supposed to. And you and I have been programmed to think that success looks a certain way and that we should do certain things to achieve this success. But it's all nonsense. If you're feeling resistance to do something that's on your to-do list, you have to be really honest with yourself and ask yourself, why do I not want to do this? And the answer is sometimes because you're scared or some reason like that. And the truth is sometimes you need to get over that resistance and you just got to get that task done. But if the reason you're feeling resistance is because you really don't want to do this thing, it sounds boring. But oftentimes when you feel resistance to doing a task, that should be a sign that maybe this isn't something that's that important for you to actually get done. And one of the most important hacks that I use that helped me with this and really helped me to get a lot more success in my business and in my life is to do weekly and monthly planning and review sessions. And at the end of each week, I ask myself a set of questions like, what was the most important thing I did this week? What was the most fun thing I did this week? What was one thing that I could have done better, or one mistake I made, one way I could have improved this week? I then take that information and try to figure out how I can make next week better. And I make a rough plan for what I'm gonna do every single day. Now, the key to this is that it is a plan and not a prison. I do the same thing once a month or so. I review the previous month. What did I do that worked really well? What did I do that really didn't work out at all? How could I have made last month better? And hit the like button, because if this video gets 1,000 likes, I'll go into even more detail on this topic and all the topics that I've been talking about in this video. But an important part of the reviewing and the planning is also reviewing how you could have a better life, how you could have more fun, and then taking that information and planning it for the next month. And that leads me into the third thing I wish I would have known before I quit my job. And when I first quit my job, I had no idea what I was doing. I quit pretty much cold turkey. And what would happen is one day I would take one step forward in my business. The next day I would take one step to the right. The next day I would take one step back. I didn't know what are the steps to success with entrepreneurship. And the truth is, my entire life, and probably your entire life, someone has told you exactly what you need to do to succeed. In school, they told you if you get done these assignments and you do a good job, you're gonna get an A and you're gonna be successful. In your job, you have a boss that's telling you exactly what you need to get done, and if you do a good job on those tasks, you're gonna be successful. But entrepreneurship is completely different. There is no one telling you what are the steps to success. Have a plan. Find someone that has done what you're trying to do. Whatever kind of business model, however you're trying to make money, find someone that's already been successful at that and ask them, how do I do this step by step? And you can find a ton of free information about whatever business model you're trying to start. Check out podcasts, check out websites, or you could even subscribe to a really cool YouTube channel like this one where I share exactly how I've been able to make money online step by step. But my big breakthrough with entrepreneurship came when I joined a mastermind group. It cost around $100 a month, which back then was a lot of money to me. But because of joining that group, I ended up taking my e-commerce business from $10,000 a month to $40,000 a month in just 3 months. And what I'm about to say is controversial, but if I could go back in time and tell myself one thing before I quit my corporate job, it would be that it's okay to pay money to learn a new skill. When I first quit my corporate job, I was cheap and I was arrogant. I thought that I could figure everything out on my own. I didn't need anyone's help. And on top of that, I wasn't willing to pay someone money for their knowledge because I thought I could figure this out. And the truth is, I did eventually figure it out, but it took me a long time. And at the time, I thought the only way to get a mentor was to find some super successful person in business and that they were gonna see me and they're gonna be like, wow, this guy's so smart. I wanna teach this kid for free how to have success in business. And the truth is, most people that are super successful that you wish, wow, I wish that person would be my mentor, they're busy. They don't have time to mentor every single person that comes along for free. And I'm not recommending that you hire me or that you join my course. What I'm recommending is figure out how you want to create a business, figure out how you want to make money, and find the most successful person in that field and pay them money for their knowledge. And if you don't want to pay them money for their experience and their knowledge, what you can do instead is trade your time for their time. But keep in mind, your time at this stage is probably worth a lot less than their time. So maybe you spent 10 hours doing video editing for them, and in exchange, they'll jump on a call with you for like an hour. But you have to make sure that you're giving something to them that they actually want. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to figure this out on your own. Other people have probably already had success doing exactly what you want to do. Contact those people and figure out how you can learn from them directly. And I did a free video right here where I share exactly step by step how I made my first $1 million. I share year by year how much money I made. I shared all the different mistakes that I made. And this is probably one of the most valuable videos I've ever made, and it's for free by clicking right here.